The moving box slipped from my hands and crashed onto the hardwood floor, scattering old photographs across the empty apartment. As I knelt to gather them, one picture stopped me cold. It showed two awkward teenagers standing shoulder to shoulder, smiling like the world could never pull them apart. I stared at the faded image while the silence inside my new apartment echoed louder than the sound of the falling box. I had spent years believing I was leaving behind a place, but deep down I knew I was really trying to outrun feelings I had buried for far too long. What happened that afternoon would change everything I thought I knew about friendship, love, and the courage it takes to stop pretending. Before we continue this emotional journey, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who believes in kindness and second chances, and subscribe to the Kindness Project if you believe that sometimes the greatest love stories begin with simple acts of kindness and unwavering friendship. The apartment was filled with daylight pouring through oversized windows, making the empty rooms feel strangely hopeful despite the loneliness that surrounded me. Every cardboard box represented another chapter of my life packed away after accepting a new job in another city. It should have been exciting, but excitement was difficult to find after spending months questioning whether I had made the right decision. My parents had passed away years earlier, my relationship had ended quietly without anger or closure, and most of my friends had drifted into lives too busy to notice mine. Only one person remained constant through every season of my life. Rowan had been my best friend since middle school. We survived terrible haircuts, failed exams, family heartbreaks, career disappointments, and countless late-night conversations that somehow made every impossible problem feel manageable. Through every storm, Rowan never disappeared. When moving day finally arrived, everyone who promised to help suddenly had excuses. One friend claimed to be sick. Another forgot entirely. A coworker sent an apologetic message but never appeared. Rowan was different. Before sunrise, Rowan knocked on my door carrying coffee, breakfast sandwiches, packing tape, and enough energy for both of us. There were no dramatic speeches or exaggerated promises. Rowan simply smiled and started folding boxes as if helping me rebuild my life was the most natural thing in the world. Hour after hour we packed memories into brown cartons. Childhood trophies disappeared beneath layers of newspaper. Books that had followed me through college found new homes inside labeled containers. Every item carried a story, and Rowan somehow remembered almost every single one. We laughed until our sides hurt remembering embarrassing moments that once felt like disasters but now seemed beautifully insignificant. Yet beneath every smile was a quiet sadness neither of us acknowledged. Every sealed box meant one step closer to goodbye. As afternoon sunlight stretched across the floor, exhaustion settled into our muscles. The apartment slowly transformed from a warm home into a hollow shell. Only my bed remained untouched, standing alone in the center of the bedroom surrounded by empty walls. Looking around, I suddenly realized how frightening new beginnings could feel. For the first time all day, the excitement disappeared completely, replaced by overwhelming fear. I wondered if I was making the biggest mistake of my life. Rowan noticed before I spoke a single word. That had always been our strange gift. We understood each other without explanations. Instead of offering empty encouragement, Rowan quietly helped tape another box before walking into the bedroom. The afternoon light painted long shadows across the mattress as Rowan looked around the nearly vacant room. Then, with complete calm, Rowan pointed toward the bed and asked which side belonged to them. For a heartbeat, time stopped. The words sounded playful, almost casual, but they carried years of unspoken emotions hidden beneath countless ordinary moments. Every memory rushed back at once. Every time Rowan canceled personal plans just to help me. Every birthday surprise. Every hospital visit when I caught pneumonia. Every holiday spent making sure I never celebrated alone. Every goodbye that lasted longer than necessary. I suddenly realized that none of those moments had ever been ordinary. My heart raced as I struggled to understand whether I had imagined the meaning behind those simple words. Fear whispered that responding honestly could destroy the only friendship I could never afford to lose. Yet another voice reminded me that silence had already stolen too many years from both of us. The apartment felt impossibly still. Outside, children laughed in the nearby park while birds drifted across a brilliant blue sky. Life continued as though nothing extraordinary was happening inside those four walls. But inside me, everything was changing. Instead of pretending not to understand, I admitted something I had hidden for years. I confessed that every city I considered moving to felt incomplete because Rowan was never part of the plan. I admitted that every relationship I tried comparing against eventually failed because I unknowingly measured everyone against the kindness, patience, and loyalty Rowan had always shown me. Most painfully, I admitted I was leaving partly because staying had become too difficult. Loving my best friend silently hurt more than starting over somewhere else. Rowan's eyes filled with tears that reflected the afternoon sunlight. There was no surprise, only relief. Rowan confessed that helping me move felt like helping the person they loved disappear forever. Every packed box felt heavier because each one carried the possibility that distance would become permanent. That simple question about the bed had not been a joke at all. It was one final chance to stop hiding behind friendship before regret lasted a lifetime. Neither of us noticed how long we stood there surrounded by half-packed memories. The empty apartment no longer felt lonely. Instead, it felt like the birthplace of a completely different future. We laughed through tears, embarrassed by the years wasted protecting each other from feelings we secretly shared all along. The moving truck still arrived that evening, but the destination changed. Instead of relocating hundreds of miles away, I called my new employer and respectfully declined the position. It was the most terrifying professional decision I had ever made, but strangely, it also became the easiest personal decision of my life. Opportunities come and go, but people willing to stand beside you through every chapter are incredibly rare. Months later, that same apartment looked completely different. The once empty rooms echoed with laughter, shared breakfasts, movie nights, and ordinary moments that somehow felt extraordinary simply because they were shared. The photographs scattered across the floor on moving day were framed and hung together on the living room wall, reminding us daily that the strongest love sometimes grows quietly inside lifelong friendship. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who still believes in second chances, and subscribe to the Kindness Project so together we can continue spreading stories that remind the world kindness and love still exist. Special request, before this story ends, please comment below with the words, "True friendship becomes true love," if you believe the strongest relationships are built on trust, patience, and years of unwavering kindness. Life rarely announces its greatest miracles with grand gestures. Sometimes they arrive in daylight, inside an almost empty apartment, surrounded by cardboard boxes and scattered memories. Sometimes they arrive through one simple question that changes everything forever. And sometimes, the person who has quietly carried your heart for years is simply waiting for you to stop packing your feelings away and finally come home.